Welcome to How to Be Alpha, a show exploring the essentials of having a personal brand and how to generate revenue using your own face and stories. I'm your host, Elizabeth Halford, and I've been curating my personal brand since 2008, when a career as a pro blogger landed in my lap. I became a well-known brand, generating a full-time income before that was really even a thing. I took a break, and now I'm back, bringing you all the juicy gossip to be alpha in your business. And by that, I mean being the best you can be, because your only competition is you, which is great news because it means everyone can be alpha. A few notes before we get started. Don't drive and take notes. Every episode has its own page at youisalpha.com/podcast. Also, please leave me a review on iTunes. You're a small business. I'm a small business. You know the drill. I might even read it out on air. Thanks for joining me. Let's jump right in. Episode 5. I'm not going to pretend like this isn't insanely exciting because I'm 50% of my way to a big goal, which is 10 episodes. A lot of podcasts don't even make it to 10 episodes. So thank you so much for being part of my audience and getting here to episode 5 with me. Last week, I told you the story of how I fell into blogging and became a professional blogger by accident before I even knew what blogging was. I also shared a couple of my favorite thinking errors, so go check that out after this episode. Today's review comes from my friend Faith, also a comrade in photography, and she said, "Such awesome content. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. You're amazing and a genius." Thank you, Faith. You know the Enneagram 3 in me is just purring right now. Today, I am talking about an asset you need for your business or your personal brand, or even just yourself as a value-adding human being in this world. If you don't yet have a brand or a business, you can still go through this process to define statements for yourself. It's not a frame of mind. It's not an ethos. It's a cold, hard piece of written content, and I'm going to actually teach you how to create it, how to craft it, how to write it. And what is it? It is a value statement, also known as a value proposition. Now, if you regularly engage with this kind of content, business podcasts, business blogs, whatever, most of the things you might hear me say don't seem new to you. But I encourage you to open your mind and resist the urge to say, yeah, I know this. Revisit your strategy. See if you can drill even deeper into your brand and dig up more gold. Now, in the process of writing this episode, I tested my methods out with a couple of my friends and clients, and the results were awesome. They found my methods to be useful, powerful, and workable. Have a listen to Rachel talk about using my value statements worksheet in her business, The Modish Mommy.
So when I first received my value proposition template, my initial thought was, okay, I'm going to give this a try. She said it's helpful and I trust her instincts, but I will not deny the fact that I also thought this is going to be super easy. I guess I just assumed going into it that because I am the brand owner and I created this particular product, well, nobody knows it as well as I do. And surely I've written so much copy in product descriptions and packaging and all that, that narrowing down my value statements in 1 or 2 sentences should really be very simple. But it wasn't, because I realized very quick into the exercise that I had to make some very clear choices. A lot of times, I think we take for granted we have a lot of real estate when we're writing copy, but to really simplify all that into one strong statement is actually kind of hard. However, I will say that the template definitely made the process a lot easier. I'm very thankful that I walked through the process because my value proposition has changed drastically. In fact, I just went into my Amazon brand page and I changed my headline and my tagline, which is huge. I mean, that's the first thing that my customers are going to see when they investigate my product. So very happy that I went through the process. Wish I had done this sooner.
Yes, Rachel, get it. To put this into context, Rachel has a line of private label products for mom and baby, and one of those is a diaper clutch. Now, if you're a dude, you might not know that a clutch is like a small version of a handbag. Usually gals will pop it up under their arm at, parties or whatever. That's a clutch. So she has this diaper clutch, and she wrote 3 killer statements with my worksheet. And these are, number 1, hands-on, not hands-full. Number 2, heartful, hands-free. Number 3, embrace simplicity, lighten your load. Isn't that tremendous? Those are great value statements. This is so much fun. I had so much fun doing this with her. And just a note, you will be able to download this worksheet that I'm going to walk you through now at youisalpha.com/podcast. And just a reminder, you're listening to episode 5 here. So go find episode 5 on that page and you'll be able to download the worksheet and go through this for your own brand. So I love what Rachel was saying a second ago about how when you're so close to your own brand, you may think that you've got a very good grasp on the values that you bring. But you know what? Simple is hard. It's easy to put your product into 100 words, but 4 words or 5 words, that takes focus and organization of thought. And this is what I'm here to help you do today. Hold that thought. I just need to introduce you to my sponsor. She's gorgeous and she's smart and she's alpha and she's me. Until I have a fancy sponsor giving me money to talk about their stuff. Hello, Squarespace. This podcast is sponsored by me and my business called You Is Alpha. Listen, when I was a new blogger and content creator, Instagram wasn't a thing. I survived for 5 years on one set of images. It's not like that anymore. If you use Instagram, email marketing, or blogging, your audience expects to be served timely, new, and stimulating visual content and the stories you write to go with them. You Is Alpha is a photography brand serving influencers, online entrepreneurs, and personal brands with batch-created photographic content to generate revenue by staying at the forefront of your audience's mind. And because we only shoot once per quarter, you walk away with 3 months worth of content to post and use regularly. Schedule that stuff out and get back to running the rest of your business. You can find me at youisalpha.com. Your product or service is not likely the only one of its kind. At this point, that would be impossible to achieve. There's nothing new under the sun. So, how do you stand out in the crowd and get attention for your product? You will only have a split second to convince people that they need you in their life. Why do we buy anything? Do we need any of that stuff? No, not really. We want it because we're convinced by teams of marketers that we need them. But it's not the products we're convinced that we need. No one needs to pull into 7-Eleven for a Coke. We're convinced that we need refreshment, life, connection. Coca-Cola's brand promise is to inspire moments of optimism and uplift. It's a lifestyle brand. Getting honest about the fact that your customers can live without your product or service will help you get real about the way you position yourself and connect with your audience. So what is a value statement? A brand value statement, also called a proposition, is the emotional and rational benefit that customers derive in purchasing a product. And how does this work when you're a personal brand? The same as any other. I use my personality to sell a product, which is a fusion of commercial and lifestyle photography. Your brand value statement doesn't have to be a work of art. It's not about clever copywriting or puns. It's not a slogan. L'Oreal's "because you're worth it" isn't a value proposition, it's a slogan. Here are some extremely straightforward value statements that get right to the point effectively. Uber, the smartest way to get around. Slack, be more productive at work with less effort. Stripe, makes it easy to start accepting credit cards on the web today. Evernote, remember everything, capture anything, access anywhere, find things fast. I wish I had examples of personal brands communicating their value statements well, but there seems to be an epidemic I see in personal brands where they lead with who they are and what they do and not why we should follow them. What is the value that they add to my life? Why should I pay attention to them? You can see 2 of my value statements being used in my Instagram bio. Control your visual brand and generate revenue. These are 2 values that hiring me as a photography strategist bring to your life. If you're not making money with your personal brand, it could be that you're not positioning yourself as a value-adding part of your audience's day, because you need people to spend more than just attention if you're gonna put food on the table, am I right? I'm making some assumptions before we start this process. Number one is that you know what you are. For example, I'm a photography strategist. Number two, you know precisely and specifically who your audience is. Mine are female entrepreneurs, aware that they have a personal brand, have seen some success, and are on the cusp of something big and ready to upgrade their game. Specific, right? If you don't know those two things, what you are and who your audience is, this is an invitation to also put those in writing. You have those answers within yourself. You just have to be brave enough to put it into words. The second of those is particularly scary because you might be worried about niching down so much that you'll leave other people out. And I promise you, you won't. I still photograph male entrepreneurs. I still do weddings. The point is, people outside the audience you're speaking to will still hear your voice and jive with you, but you need to be specific about who you're talking to. So let's talk about 2 steps to write your own value statement in 20 minutes or less. At this point, if you're not driving in the car and you're at home, I urge you to go to the show notes and download the value statement worksheet. Step 1, organize your thoughts. Fill in these blanks. Blank want to blank because they blank, but they are blank. All right, don't panic. Here's my example of how I filled in those blanks. Entrepreneurs want to automate their social content because they don't want to be wondering what to post every day, but they are unaware of what kind of photographer can get the job done. Completing that sentence builds a clear picture for why your product exists and how you can communicate directly to your ideal customer's deepest needs and desires for the kind of life they want to lead. Step 2, so you can statements. Now that you have the words to describe why your customer needs you, let's use those insights to empower them with your so you can statements. Start with what you're selling and finish with so you can. For example, I'm a wedding photographer. I capture your day so you can remember everything you worked so hard to create. Or, I make boho chic jewelry so you can feel like Blondie and Pocahontas. Or, I'm a different kind of wellness coach and I support you one-on-one so you can forget everything you've been told about how to lose weight and actually achieve your weight loss goals. You get the picture? When you're done, strip out the first bit and you have yourself some value propositions. So if you were to say, I'm a wedding photographer, I capture your day so you can remember everything you worked so hard to create, get rid of all that. And the value statement you're left with is, remember everything you worked so hard to create. This might sound weird and feel weird in audio, and I agree. That's why I made the worksheet for you. I really want you to feel empowered to know how to put your own business into words that will resonate with your audience. And once you've done that, go look at the headlines on your website and the bios that you're using across all of your social platforms and implement your shiny new value statements to communicate your business in a way that sells so you can generate revenue doing what you love. You don't have to use all the phrases that you write verbatim. They can be the underpinning values with which you communicate everything that you do. So pop some Post-its around your workstation and allow these values to be present in every interaction you have with your audience. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening. You are such a babe. A reminder that all notes are available at youisalpha.com/podcast. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn as youisalpha, and on Instagram, I'm youalphababe. Now go leave me that review, and remember, you is kind, you is smart, you is alpha.